Hello and welcome to episode 592 of Fergo on the Freak. I'm that bloke from Rugby League Project, Andrew Ferguson. You can find me on Twitter at AndrewRLP. Joining me as always is the glorious LeagueFreak. You can also find on Twitter at LeagueFreak. How you going there, man?
I'm going pretty well, Andrew. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
Excellent.
As they say in the classics.
I hope all of our listeners are good too. Hey?
Oh, that's right. We've got those people as well. So we keep forgetting about it every now and then. We go, oh, yeah, but that's right. We've got a podcast to do.
We should start calling our listeners eavesdroppers. Hey, that'd be pretty funny. Just call your listeners eavesdroppers. Be brilliant.
People peering at the window. See, we notice you now because it's getting a bit colder. You're starting to fog up the windows. A bit's gone on.
Yeah, there's been quite a lot going on. It's my fault there was no podcast last week.
I mean, you say that every week.
Yeah, but we're getting it out in time so that you've got a couple of days to digest it and then watch State of Origin and then probably do a post-Origin podcast like usual. If Andrew's not up to do it, like, because sometimes Andrew's like has to get to sleep and stuff like that pretty quickly, I'll do a solo episode, but we'll do whatever we can.
Yeah, we'll find something to do.
Yeah. I'll do my Origin ratings too. They're always, people love them so much they hate them.
And they tune in every day.
Yeah. It's like whenever I'm in a relationship. I've started on fire today.
Jesus Christ, I'll tell you what. We should probably psychoanalyze that a little bit more.
Yeah, no. I've done a lot of that.
That's what the ladies are for. All right. What should we start with first? Because we've got a few things we want to chop off today.
How about we do a couple of little things that have happened in the news the last couple of days, and then we'll get some emails read.
Sounds good. By all means, mate. Lead the way.
Well, today there was a little bit of shock news that Andrew Abdo has decided to stand down as the CEO of the NRL, and he will be taking up a similar role with Tennis Australia, and he'll be taking over from who the fuck knows who fucking Tennis Australia CEO is. No one cares. And so because of that, he's going to stay on for a little bit longer because they're in the middle of negotiations for the broadcasting deals in the NRL.
Yeah, I think I saw somewhere July 15 or something next year. He's on board too. Oh, no, sorry, this year.
Yeah, and so, he's given them, and I guess it's enough time, and I think if it was a different situation, the sport would be like, oh, this is a real bad time to be leaving. But because we all know that Peter V'landys kind of runs the show, it's not too much of a big deal. If I was the Rugby Football League, I'd be like, what the fuck? Because Andrew Abdo is the guy that they've been speaking to about all of this stuff, and he's just gone now. So that's a little bit interesting.
Andrew Abdo's gone. Super League or tennis?
And I think he made the right call. So there's going to be Peter V'landys has taken some service leave from his role with Racing New South Wales so that he can be more involved in the running of the NRL over the next 4 months. He said he'll step in as the caretaker CEO as long as clubs and all the shareholders of the game are happy for him to do that, and they have to vote on that for him to do that.
That's also known as getting paid twice.
Well, yeah. That's how they do it in the public service. But, good on him. And we're going to get big pay TV and free-to-air TV and radio deals and stuff coming out very soon, I would suggest. But I don't think it's too much of an issue for the NRL. I always felt that Andrew Abdo was a bit of a corporate waffler. And, whoever they get in there as the CEO eventually, they've just got a certain amount of work to do because PVL kind of runs the show these days as the head of the Australian Rugby League.
So there's two people, I think, who might be the prime candidates.
Well, look, Andrew, before you say it, I'm not sure I'm going to apply. Okay, so let's not speculate.
Oh, I figured between doing the podcast
Yeah.
And being the NRL CEO, I knew you weren't going to be taking on that pathetic stepping down task.
Why would I step down and have less power?
And less pay.
Yeah.
So I think there's an obvious choice.
Yep.
And I think there's one that was probably staring us in the face, and for a few weeks now we weren't aware of it. So the obvious one is Phil Gould.
Well, it's funny you mention that, because I was thinking, like, there is one person on this planet that thinks that he's the best person for the job, and that's definitely Phil Gould.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, if they offered him the job, he would say, no way in hell, because he wouldn't want to be put in a situation where
he'd be accountable.
He has to walk the walk.
Yes. And the other one is the bloke who recently stood down from his role and doesn't have a job lined up. And that's Ivan Cleary.
Ivan Cleary. Well, there's a few different people. Like, remember when it was really funny when Cameron Smith retired and people were like, oh, he's going to end up running the NRL. And it's like, why? Because he was a good hooker? Like, what the fuck, man? It takes more than being able to make 40 tackles to be the CEO of a fucking billion-dollar organization.
I like the fact that after all the change and all the professionalism that's come into the running of the game over the last 60, 70 years, there's still a small outpost of people out there who go, yeah, we need to get a former Test legend to come in and run the game.
Yeah, it's really weird.
The sentiment is still there. I love it. Don't change rugby league.
What about Shane Flanagan?
Oh, geez, I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of any reason, hilarious or not, why he should be picked. I don't know what role he should have. I mean, Fox apparently have said that they don't want him back. Like, no surprises there. And thank you for making a good decision at last.
Yes, that was good. Nadine told me that he was on Triple M on the weekend.
Oh, there's a reason not to listen to that.
Yeah, Triple M's done a really good job of turning their coverage to being something that you can chuck on and be like, oh, I can listen to this, to being like, I cannot listen to this.
So Triple M, do they also have Gordon Tallis?
Last time I heard they did. They've got some of the typical journos. Well, do you call them journos, former journos? It depends. So, you know. And no one ever wants to hear what a fucking journalist has to say. Like, as soon as you hear a journalist say, I think, it's like, switch off.
Mute.
Yeah.
Has it stopped talking yet?
Yeah, exactly. I like the way you called it it.
That's right.
That's what it deserves. A name I saw tossed up was Ben Ikin, who was the CEO of the Queensland Rugby League. Personally, I don't care who the CEO is. As long as they do a decent job.
I don't think Ben Ikin would be a bad shout either. I think he'd be pretty good. He did a pretty good job at the QRL, but I think the early reports were suggesting that he was eyeing off a job at the Perth side.
All right.
No idea what's going on there though.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. I'd be more inclined to go with Ben Ikin. I think that wouldn't be a bad idea because he has shown to be a very good administrator.
What about Christina Keneally?
Oh, she's still around.
I'm sure she is. I'm just certain she is. Remember, she was the head of basketball in Australia, and people were like, well, that's interesting. I mean, they must really... And then basketball in Australia just torpedoed into the surface of the planet. And she left, and then, funnily enough, it got really good after that.
Modern politicians have got a good way of sinking things. Remember how well Optus went after Gladys Berejiklian was involved with them?
Yep.
That went well.
Yep.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know who they pick or what they do. I'm more than happy if it's another Abdo type person who's just there to do all of the nerdy background stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's a pure administrator, you know.
That's right, and they've got to be someone who's able to, I suppose, manage all of the clubs and manage the TV rights deals, and manage all the different components that make up the NRL. Yeah, I think that's basically it. So you don't really need someone who's come in and they've played 35 tests.
No,
I don't see how that helps.
No, it doesn't, and it has nothing to do with like the product on the field either, because the decisions there are made by somebody else anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think that you need somebody that's, had a background in the game or played the game or anything. You just need a good CEO.
Yeah. Get Shane Richardson.
No.
He's free now.
No.
No?
No fucking way in the world.
How about you get that bloke who's running the Dragons at the moment?
Someone's running that club?
I think so.
Wow, that's crazy. I just thought they sort of floated along. It'll be interesting. We'll find out.
Speaking of floating along,
yes,
that kind of sums up Mitch Moses' season so far this year, yet somehow he got picked in the New South Wales State of Origin side.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I had a lot to say about it leading into Origin. I had a lot of people trying to explain to me why he was actually a winner. I'm sorry about the dog that you can hear barking. It's not my dog.
It's just mauling someone at the door. It's normal.
Fucking hell.
It's his normal 9:50 p.m. mauling.
Honest to God.
How many humans has that dog gone through this week?
I don't know. I stopped counting. But yeah, like a lot of people that retroactively add this winning culture to Mitch Moses, and it's like literally just look into it a little bit, tell me what he's won, and people will be like, oh, he's won a couple of series. It's like he come in and replaced somebody that was injured in a team that had already won at least one game without him. So it's weird. People are really weird when you actually analyse certain players in this game, and Mitch Moses is one of them. They used to do the same thing about Clint Gutherson, and now it's not so much. I don't know why attitudes changed on Clint Gutherson, but I'm watching him doing the same shit he's always done, and people are finally like, oh, it's kind of weird. He's no good at defence, and he doesn't run the ball. It's like, yeah, he's never done any of that shit. What are you talking about?
Well, how, was it not last week, but the week before? Yeah. Just days before the Origin sides were named. And every game has been talked up as a, Origin, was it? When you have one of those ones where you're trying to prove you deserve to be picked.
Origin trial?
That's the one, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And Moses was given the perfect opportunity, a home game against a struggling Melbourne Storm side who'd just finally broken their duck by belting a, second-rate West Tigers side the week before.
Mm-hmm.
And all he did all game was run sideways.
Mm-hmm.
He rarely took on the line, and when he did, he was doing it on his own. He wasn't organising any running plays around him anywhere.
Mm.
And then if he wasn't doing that, he was putting up uncontested bombs from 40 metres out.
Yeah.
Which the Melbourne fullback, Suafa'alongo, he swallowed all of them up bar one, and the one he didn't swallow up was the one where it was actually contested the kick.
Mm.
The 2 tries that Parramatta scored were through line running on the left-hand side that Moses had zero involvement in either of them. And I thought, how did he get picked based on that?
Yeah, and picked out a position. And picked out a position when we have players that both have form or have proven themselves to be really good players when it matters. And yet, for some reason, we decide to pick a out-of-form old halfback that's never won anything alongside of the current halfback that we have in Nathan Cleary. And I don't understand it. I can't reason with it even slightly. It makes no sense to me. I'm lost for words on it because I feel like I'm living in a fucking reality where you look at Mitch Moses' career and the guy's never fucking won anything. And then you got a halfback in the team in Nathan Cleary that's won everything. And I see people saying, oh, well, we really need Moses for his kicking game. It's like, what fucking sport are you people watching every week? Well, it's so crazy to me.
So if that's what they need him for is his kicking game, and this is the funny bit, because today, only a few hours ago, it was announced that Mitch Moses is now in doubt for the State of Origin game because he's struggling with the hamstring issue. And so it's going to lead to either Ethan Strange being moved into the 6 role,
Mm-hmm.
or the person who they've called up to come in is Matt Burton.
Mm-hmm.
So straight away, I'd much prefer one of those two options over Moses. And that's because with Strange, I don't think his kicking game is as good as Mitch Moses' kicking game is, but I don't want my 5'8" to be there purely because he's a good kicker when you've got Nathan Cleary in the side already. I want my 5'8" to be a ball running player.
Yeah,
and
so
that's what he is. And I think Ethan Strange will complement Cleary far better than Moses ever will.
100%. I agree completely. If they'd have brought Luai in from outside the squad as well, I would have been happy with that. I kind of like my 5'8" to have played a lot of 5'8". I'm really weird like that, hey?
Yeah, it's kind of weird how that works. I'm kind of the same.
Yeah,
they call us old fuddy-duddies when we say that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
No, put them all over the place.
Oh, you're such a traditionalist. It's like, I know. I like my centers to be centers and my 5'8" to be 5'8". It's fucking weird, man.
Now, let's get to the elephant in the room.
Okay.
Victor Radley.
I have a problem in that I watch rugby league games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is Victor Radley one of the top... That's it. I was going to say, is he one of the top 5 Roosters forwards this year? And the answer is fucking no, he's not. Why is he in the side? I don't like who was thinking, let's get an undersized back rower who gets knocked out every third game, who gets fucking suspended every second game, and who gives away penalties every single game. Let's chuck him in the back row because he'll be really good when we're trying to build pressure on Queensland. Fucking genius move.
Is that, and there was the token Saifidi pick as well, is on the extended bench, I believe.
Well, I was going to make jokes about Saifidi in the lead up to them announcing the squad because I thought, somebody always needs to pick a Saifidi in the side. I don't really know why.
Well, he's the first name you put on paper, then you just fill in the other nine.
Yeah, and like I've watched him play, and like he hasn't been terrible for the Knights, but he hasn't exactly stood out for the Knights either.
No.
And when I saw him in the side, I was like, wow, that'll really please the sort of dudes that say we need to pick Saifidi because he's in great form for Newcastle. They're the same dudes that have fucking lower back tattoos, I reckon. Just fucking ridiculous having him in the side.
Yeah, I looked at that and went, I don't get that at all. I saw people questioning why you'd have Blake Brayley and Victor Radley and Cameron Murray all on the bench. And I can see an argument for Brayley being there because I think you just need to have 2 hookers these days.
Yeah.
And he can play at 7. So he's good coverage for the halves if you have any injuries there. So that's fine. I'd rather Strange start instead of Moses. I'd rather Moses not be there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'd probably prefer not having Jacob Saifidi in the side and putting I don't care who there.
Yep.
Cameron Murray, I'm not one way or the other with Cameron Murray. I think he's one of those blokes who he usually steps up in Origin. I'm like, I don't mind either way. I've got no issue with Cameron Murray. He's not playing too badly at the moment, but saying that, there's probably other players out there who could probably say that they deserve the opportunity more.
Mate, I had people that were saying to me, we need to pick Cameron Murray at lock. And I'm like, you want to move the Australian and New South Wales captain and 4-time premiership winning captain, Isaiah Yeo, from lock. And they're like, well, yeah, because he doesn't play good at Origin because he's more of a ball runner. And it's like he's one of the best go-forward players.
Hang on. What is he supposed to do as a forward?
Yeah. And it's like...
we need him for his passing and kicking game.
But they're like, it's like, oh, he's better off playing prop. And it's like, you want to move him to prop.
No, you don't want him as a prop. The reason why, do I need to explain this? The reason why you want Yeo at lock, okay, is because he's not just parked in the middle doing hit-ups and tackling. You need him so that he's able to roam a little bit to the left or the right and be that link man between your half, whatever side they're on, and your outside men. And that's what he can play. He's got a great fucking offload as well. So you want that sort of person running from the middle towards the edges. That's what your lock is. They do that sort of stuff. Max Plath, who Queensland picked, that's a very good pick for that because he's remarkably good at doing that as well. So I think that they've, both of them have got the locks done right, and that's why Yo's there. Murray's not bad at doing that either, okay, but he's not better than Yo.
He's not even close to Yo.
So I've got no problem with Murray being on the bench, but I'm not moving Isaiah Yo to make room for Cameron Murray.
Let's talk about a phrase that has infected everybody. He's an Origin player.
Yeah, well, I heard that this week about Victor Radley.
Yeah, it's like this is the dumb shit that we started hearing it in the late 90s and then early noughties, right? And it come out of the feel good camp of like I'm up my own ass.
Yeah,
okay?
It's a Gouldism.
Yeah. It's like, some players are just Origin players. And that is when New South Wales started making fucking weird selections. And I talked a little bit about this on Twitter, how like people might think that Andrew Johns was a very easy selection at halfback for New South Wales every year that he was available. Go back and look at how many times Andrew Johns was not playing halfback for New South Wales. How many times he had to clearly the best halfback in the game, just not even a question. And yet he had to wait, and then he had to move into a different position, and then somebody else was supposedly in better form at the time, and just all of this bullshit around Andrew fucking Johns, right? And we just got into a situation with New South Wales where we looked at Queensland, and I think this comes out of the 80s, right? How is Queensland beating us? It can't be because they have more talent than us. I mean, it's obviously not that. So they must be doing something different. They must be doing something special. We can't just pick our best players and they get smashed. Oh, it must be because there's some special thing. There's some special magical pixie dust. Oh, it's because they've got Origin players. Hey, we should pick Origin players too. And then we start picking guys out of position and guys they've never played this role before, and we're shoving them in there, and we're experimenting and stuff. And meanwhile, Queensland just picks their best team every year, and then we think it's some sort of special fucking magic that they're using. They haven't got their player base compared to the player base we get to choose from for New South Wales is tiny. They have to pick who they pick most of the time. We have this plethora of great players. We have winners. We have players in form. We're so lucky. And yet we have these fucking people involved in the New South Wales Origin system that are like, let's fucking be really smart. I'm Laurie Daly. I'm going to fucking outsmart people here. And they make the most ridiculous fucking selections. Or when was the last time New South Wales picked a team and you were like, yeah, that seems like about the right team? It might have been 20 years ago.
It's been a while.
Fucking, it's so infuriating.
Yeah. I mean, this is the closest they've gotten in a while. And it's still not great.
It's still like fucking 65% there.
The thing that gets me is that, again, there's two teams, right, who haven't got a single player picked in Origin. And one is understandable because that's the Dragons.
Yes.
The other one's the Tigers.
Yes.
Are the Tigers really going that bad that they don't have one person who should be getting looked at? Just not one.
Look, I would have had Luai in the side. And when people ask why, it's because, you know what? He kind of works really well with the halfback that New South Wales has selected.
And the lock.
As I've said, I would have had as many Panthers players in there as possible because that's what fucking Queensland would do. If the fucking Broncos had won 4 premierships in a row, we'd be basically playing New South Wales versus the Broncos.
Yeah. It's just weird. Yeah. That's not me being butthurt about the fact there's no Tigers there. I'm used to that because, they're just never any there.
Yeah.
It just seems weird that they're happy to go and pick players from other teams who have been performing very poorly and players who are not really in that great a form. They're all getting picked over players who have been, insides that are higher up on the ladder and have been playing better.
Yeah.
That just seems weird. Yeah, should we go through this Origin sides? You reckon everyone's seen them already?
Yeah, we might as well go through it, hopefully, because people will be listening to this leading into Origin 1, so let's do it.
So for New South Wales, we've got Tedesco at fullback. In the back line, we've got Brian To'o, Stephen Crichton, Tony Staggs, Tolatau Kula. Halves are Moses and Cleary. Forwards, Adam Fanua Blake, Reece Robson, Mitchell Barnett. The back row, Hudson Young, Ola Kawatu, and Yo at lock. On the bench, Cameron Murray, Victor Radley, Jacob Saifidi, Blake Bradley, Ethan Strange, number 18, Casey McLean at 19, and Dylan Lucas is 20. Any other thoughts on that lot?
Is Brian To'o injured?
I don't know. I assume he isn't because, he's there.
Yeah, I feel like I would have, heard about that. But
he's been rushed back, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
For Queensland, Kalen Ponga at fullback. Selwyn Cobbo, Robert Toya, Hamiso Tabuai Fidau, and Jojo Fafita making his Origin debut on the other wing.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron Munster and Sam Walker in the halves. In the front row, Thomas Flegler, Harry Grant, Tino Fa Asumuluai. In the back row, Ruben Cotter, Kurt Capewell, Max Plath. On the bench, Britton Nakora, Lindsay Collins, Patrick Carrigan, Trent Loiero, Ezra Mam, Kahamat Shibasaki, and on the bench is Kulikefu Funafuikai.
I think that they made some selections that were interesting. I thought leaving out Reece Walsh was interesting, and I'm happy about that as a New South Wales fan. I think naming Sam Walker is a mistake. I think he's going to get blasted.
How would you have worked that, though? Like, instead, if there's no Walker, who are you putting at 7?
I'd have had the North Queensland Cowboys halfback.
Oh, he got injured.
No, I don't. No, he played on the weekend.
Are you talking about Dearden or?
No.
Name. Clifford.
Yeah, Jake Clifford. I thought that he was in really good form and just had come into his own. I actually thought he had won that position from Walker. So I was surprised when they named Walker at halfback. I just think he's a better defender than Walker, and you're more likely to get through the game with him still there. I think that Ola Kawatu is just going to have a field day running at Walker.
See, I hadn't had any thoughts there. I was initially looking at it going, I remember hearing some people saying that Ponga should be at 6 and Munster at 7.
Mm.
And that way you can make Walsh at fullback. And I thought,
yeah, I don't like that.
There's 2 players being moved around there out of position, which is just too much in the spine.
Yeah.
So I can see kind of why they've gone that way. I wasn't too sure what else they could really do. The other idea is possibly, and this is doing the same again though, is putting Ezra Mam in at 7.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and I'm not great on that. Harry Grant possibly could go to 7, but then you're taking him out of his strongest place to fill a vitally important role.
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
player position. So it's kind of like the only other player, and this is and I'm not suggesting that this person should have been there.
Mm-hmm.
The only other player I could think of can play halfback, and does qualify for Queensland, is Braden Trindle from the Sharks.
Yeah, he'd have been all right to go in there especially if you wanted somebody that was more experienced. I just would have gone Clifford. I think Clifford's been in really great form lately. I think his game is really matured over the last probably 18 months. And, I just thought he had won that spot, but apparently not. Walker's in there and we'll see how he goes.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Definitely will be interesting. So, those are the sides. There will be we're recording this on Monday, so it means we have the obligatory Tuesday articles all about the health scares and near-death situations that all the players go through.
Yeah, there's a illness going through the Queensland camp. That sort of stuff.
I wouldn't be surprised if every single player is suffering from the hantavirus tomorrow.
Yep.
They'll all be cured in time for game day. They'll have all been in hospital having their lungs drained.
Somebody will have been in hospital on death's door having to, they've been on a drip for the last 48 hours.
Yeah, like there'll be 3 blokes who have heart transplants.
Yeah.
Just be mindful that is what happened. That's part of the process of becoming an Origin player. Is you need to almost die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've heard the New South Wales camp might be ravaged by man flu.
Yeah,
that could be horrible.
It could be.
Could be. I mean, it will be. I mean,
yes.
Shit, it already is.
Yes. So it's going to be a fun game to watch anyway.
Start. Who are you going to pick?
I'll always pick New South Wales.
Likewise.
Yeah. I like Queensland could name the greatest team ever. Queensland could bring back Wally Lewis. And I'd still be like, New South Wales all the way, especially because Wally Lewis is like 70.
Imagine Wally Lewis. Prime Wally Lewis up against Mitch Moses.
Who do you reckon is the...
Oh, fuck.
Who do you reckon is the oldest player you could select, right, that qualifies for New South Wales or Queensland? So Stanley Jean is out of this. Who is the oldest player you could select that would at least give you a good 15 minutes?
I want to say there's a few. Okay.
Yeah, I've got a couple in mind.
All right, I'm just gonna name them. Okay. Paul Sirenen.
I wouldn't have named him.
Yeah. Tim Brasher, because he's still quite fit.
Okay.
Cliff Lyons.
I was going to say Cliff Lyons.
Yeah, he's always there. ET.
Yeah. ET, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he'd be all right. Who else?
I think Dale Shearer is probably finally aged.
No, fuck him. He'd be good. He'd still be good.
He'd try. He'd line up, but I feel like he's just aged out.
I'd put him there. He'd still be like man of the match. That guy was phenomenal in a maroon jumper.
I feel like Webke'd give you some time.
Oh yeah.
Paul Gallen would, but he's a natural athlete.
He's a natural athlete.
Yeah.
We're talking oldest.
Yeah.
Cameron Smith, probably not old enough yet.
He's probably not. Yeah. I wonder. It's probably Cliff Lyons, hey?
It's got to be Cliffy. Shall I do the thing that we do, and I just look at who the oldest players are who have played State of Origin, and work through the list because I've got that list.
And go down the list. Well, why not? Okay, here's a question for you. Like, apart from the ones that have gone to the great football, the football stadium in the sky, right? Who was the oldest current person that has played State of Origin? That's a really good question, hey? Like State of Origin, though.
Max Krilich.
And how old? Would say 78?
He was born in 49.
How old is he? What does that make him?
76.
God damn, I'm pretty good with this shit, aren't I?
And then Michael Cronin.
Is he next?
I think he would be, because the oldest was Arthur Beetson, who was born in 45.
Yeah.
Then Krilich, Tom Rodonicus, Rod Morris. Is he still with us? He is. He's 75. Apologies, Rod. And then there's Greg Oliphant, who's also 75. He's about to turn 76. He's still with us as well.
Man, I haven't heard his name for a long time.
John Lang. He's also 75.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then Cronin. Greg Holborn. Do you remember them?
No.
Steve Edge.
How old Steve? I was thinking about Steve Edge the other day. Hey.
So he's 74. He turned 75 in October.
Okay, I haven't seen Steve Edge for a little while.
And number 10 on the list is Chris Anderson.
Oh, okay.
He's 73, about to turn 74.
Oh, there you go.
Who would be the likely ones going down from there? Ray Price, John Dowling, Paul Carr, Ron Hilditch, Graham Eady, Chicka Ferguson.
Ooh.
He's probably still doing laps.
I think Chicka Ferguson. I reckon Chicka Ferguson, chuck him on the wing. I think he could at least give you 15 minutes, definitely.
Definitely. Who else have we got here? Les Boyd.
Nah, not the Hall of Famer.
No?
No.
You just go there and start a fight. He could do that still. I'd back him.
I wouldn't.
Peter Wynn?
Nah, not Peter Wynn. Nah.
Let's see. Chopping Close?
Choppy Close is a bit like Dale Shearer. He would run out there either way.
Gene Miles.
Oh, Gene Miles. Oh, he was a big dude.
He was a big dude. Still is a big dude.
He might be able to do it.
Wally Lewis.
Wally just would. Wally would.
Yeah, muscle memory just kick in.
Yeah.
He's 66. Greg Konechny, Peter Sterling is also 66.
Yeah, Peter Sterling, could he?
Eric Gross, Gavin Miller.
I tell you what, Gavin Miller might be able to.
He would. Mal Meninga.
And Mal Meninga, I think, would be able to, yeah. 15 minutes, I reckon you get 15 minutes out of Mal.
Absolutely. Des Hasler.
He'd go pretty close.
Gary Jack, Brett Kenny, Terry Lamb, Gary Coyne. There's Cliff Lyons.
Weirdly enough, I bet Terry Lamb, if you give him some time to get fit, I reckon he'd give you 15.
Yeah. Bruce Maguire. Steve Roach.
And Steve Roach is another one that'd line up no matter what.
Gary Belcher.
He might, yeah.
Bobby Lidner. Liz Davidson, Paul Dunn, Mick Potter.
I don't know about Mick Potter.
Ricky Walford.
Ricky Walford might be able to, hey?
Trevor Gilmeister.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into the players who were there in the 90s. So David Gillespie, Martin Bella, Mark McGaw, Dan Staines, Michael Hagan, Mark Sargent, Brandy.
I don't think Brandy could anyway. I think Mark McGaw might be able to.
Yeah. There's Sheridan.
We're going through the whole fucking list of every player that's played Origin at this stage.
I'm almost halfway. Ian Roberts. How do we not mention Ian Roberts?
I think Chicken Ferguson is the oldest, definitely, that I think you could get 15 minutes out of on the wing. Definitely.
I think you get nearly half an hour out of Ian Roberts.
You reckon?
Yeah, that guy is he's still like solid as fuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the two best English players of all time, Ian Roberts.
Yeah. Absolutely. You'll never get past number one. Bob Fulton's just superb.
Yeah, number one. Bob Fulton by a mile.
All right. Well, we dragged that out for longer than I thought we would. Well done, us.
Let's read a fucking email.
Let's do that. How many? Have we just got the one or we got a few?
We got two.
Let's rip into them.
This one here is from James. Regular listener, James. The subject is the John Rambo of Rugby League. G'day, boys. James is back. That's the way you want to fucking start an email right there.
Fucking announce yourself.
I'm fucking back, fellas. I'm wondering if we can work out who is the John Rambo of Rugby League. The Rambo character was partly inspired by a real soldier who was the most decorated US soldier in World War II. Now, we're going by what you've told us here, James, because Rambo in the movie was a Vietnam vet, but if he was based on a US soldier from World War II, highly decorated, there you go, right? So, can we work out who is the most decorated rugby league player ever? Some ground rules / suggestions. Awards given once the playing career is over do not count. So no immortals, no team of the century, no Hall of Fame, etc. Competitions won count, however, individual accolades trump team awards. For example, Golden Boot and 1 premiership is more decorated than just 3 premierships. So, get that?
I got confused. I thought we were talking about someone who actually was like some sort of insane human in war battles.
No. We're talking about decorated in terms of rugby league decoration.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting there going,
you were researching and shit, were you?
Yeah, there's a guy, I'm trying to think of his name, who I had a great story read. I was trying to think, there it is, I found him. I was going to go through about what he went through, but now I'm going to go, oh, we don't need to hear about this guy anymore.
Yeah.
His legacy can be forgotten. We're going to talk about rugby league instead.
No, we're talking about playing footy, right?
All right, hang on.
Okay.
Let me get down the ground rules here. So what's the first rule?
Okay. So awards given after your playing career is over don't count. So so Immortals, Team of the Century, Hall of Fame, chuck all that out, right?
Okay.
Competitions won count. However, individual accolades trump team awards. So, for instance, if you win a Golden Boot and an NRL Premiership, that's more decorated than 3 NRL Premierships on its own.
Okay.
The Endless Dally M Centre / Fullback / Hooker of the Year awards don't count.
Good.
Unless there's a tiebreaker.
No, fuck that.
The Proven Summons medal does count.
Okay.
So Nathan Hindmarsh is back in the race. Accolades and competition wins in the UK count.
Okay.
Rugby union wins and accolades for players such as Sonny Bill Williams and Brad Thorne don't count.
Good.
That sounds like life to me.
Yeah.
Ashes and State of Origin medals should count, although not really fair because before 1980 and the Ashes hiatus years.
How's about, can I add a tweak to that?
Okay.
So it works for both.
Okay.
Ashes and World Cup.
Yeah, you could throw a World Cup in there. Yeah,
I think if you put those in, because the Ashes really ran right up until 94.
Yeah.
And World Cups really sort of took off and got bigger and had more than just 4 teams in it from about 1986 onwards or 89 onwards. Yeah. So I think that covers a nice sort of overlap there.
Yeah. So, and what this does is that this makes you think about players who have crossed over from Australian England, right? And there's only certain times in history where that's happened to a point where players were actually winning stuff in both competitions, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's been times where that hasn't happened, and for various reasons. And so you're starting to cut it down to only certain points in the game's history where these things could have happened, where James is aiming for these sorts of you've won everything sort of accolades, right? But he's given us a list of players here.
So he's done his research already.
Yeah.
So basically what you're telling me is he's wasting our time.
I think James has put forth the idea for a podcast, the bastard.
Yeah, he's run us out.
So here's the place he come up with. Okay?
Yep.
Brett Kenny. So he had 4 premierships, 2 Clive Churchill medals, a Golden Boot. He won an Ashes, the State of Origin, and the Challenge Cup. He got the Lance Todd Trophy. He has midweek cups, probably many more Man of the Match awards and series awards. Okay? So that was one player. Andrew Johns, 2 premierships, 3 Dally M's, 5 Proven Summons medals, 2 Golden Boots. He won an Ashes series, World Cups, and an Origins, Jonathan Thurston, 2 premierships, 1 Clive Churchill medal, 4 Dally M's, 3 Golden Boots, World Cup wins, 11 Origin series, 4 Wally Lewis medals. Right? Now he's added a point here, and it's aimed at you. This is where he gets personal, at you.
Everyone's picking on me. What's going on?
You fucking deserve it. He says Fergo, but he probably said it really mean.
Yeah.
Fergo. Unfortunately, Norm Proven's 10 premierships and 3 Clive Churchills don't really stack up because he never won a Dally M second rower of the year. Right? And then he says, seriously, see if you boys can find a player who has won more comps and awards than the few that have been suggested. Who is the real rugby league Rambo? Cheers, James.
I now fucking hate this.
Why?
Because he's basically saying that anyone prior to 1976 doesn't count because there was no Dally M awards then.
Okay, but then there's the other thing of like, if you want to go by like competition wins and medals won in, say man of the match medals won in big games, it's probably someone like Sean Edwards, who when Wigan were winning all the time, and he has like, I remember seeing all of his medals from those, especially the Challenge Cup finals medals, and there was like a dozen of them or something, right? So but what James is talking about is winning as many different things as you can. Not just so Norm Proven won like 11, he won like, what did he win, 11 comps or was it 10?
10.
Okay, 10. What he is looking for is all of the other accolades as well.
So,
of which Proven did have.
Does Arthur Halloway count?
Well,
he's won the most premierships of anyone in Australia. Not that anyone seems to fucking remember.
But how did he win them?
As a player and as a coach for both Balmain and the Roosters. Okay,
so the coaching ones wouldn't count because we're just talking about players.
Well, yeah, he didn't have that many as a coach. So he had seven as a player. I think 3 of them were as captain coach. Yep. That should count for something.
It does.
He played in the very first season and played up until 1920, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Played for Australia, played for New South Wales. 57 tour games for Australia, 26 tour games for New South Wales.
Mm-hmm.
Played in 4 Ashes tests.
Mm-hmm.
Cut off his fucking finger working at an abattoir and went and played later on that day. Come on.
Jesus Christ.
Come on.
But Mitch Moses has some hamstring tightness. That's unfair, but I
want to know why someone like, no, I'm branching off here. I want to know why someone like Arthur Halloway is not being considered as an immortal. But we're going to talk about, maybe Cooper Cronk should be considered. Fuck off.
Why.
What more does this human need to do?
Exactly.
And then I go into Duncan Thompson, who did it with North Sydney, and then Toowoomba. He also had a bit of success in Newcastle, I believe, and Ipswich as a player and as a coach. He was an Australian selector. He taught Wayne Bennett to some degree. His legacy still exists today, 100 plus years on. And I think if you're looking at awards and titles and stuff won, you're probably going to start looking at players that played pre-World War I over in England an awful lot of too. So Albert Rosenfeld would be a good example.
Yep, that was one that I was thinking of.
Who else was there? A bunch of players that played over in the early 1900s. Lance Todd would be another.
What's the? I forget his name. I'm having troubles with names.
Harold Wagstaff.
The top try scorer that they've got over there of all time.
Brian Bennett.
Yes.
Yeah, he didn't do anything major in Australia, but what he did over there in England that's never going to get caught.
No.
So between Brian Bevan's total number of tries and the amount of tries that Rosenfeld was scoring per season, which was just ridiculously high numbers, no one's going to break either of those 2 guys' records.
Yeah.
And they did a lot of fucking amazing shit as well around all of that. And, teams were built for, 7-8 years at a time around those guys.
Yeah. One of the more modern players I thought about that might qualify for something like this is Mal Meninga, because he did play in England. I don't think he won a comp over there, but he did play in England, but he did so much in Australia. He won pretty much everything over here.
Yeah.
He was the only guy that did 4 Ashes tours.
Wally Lewis have to be on there.
Yeah, but Wally Lewis never won a New South Wales Rugby League premiership. That's a big missing piece.
He had 2 World Cup wins, 4
Yep.
Ashes series wins,
Yep.
A Golden Boot award, Harry Sutherland medal. He was a captain coach, one of the last ones to do that as well.
Yeah, for the goals, their goals.
And he could have been picked to play rugby union and said no.
Yeah, well, that counts as 2 wins.
He also could have signed with Manly and played for them, and he said, well, the QRL kind of did, but he also said no to them as well. That's also got to be worth something.
Yeah, true.
I think you got to put him on there. It's hard to say that you've got to win a New South Wales Rugby League premiership as well. Because, as I've said before, and here plenty of times, the number of great players they had going on in the Brisbane comp in the 80s is very much rivaled what the Sydney comp had. Like, there was no gap between them. The quality was insane between the two.
Do you think that Wally Lewis would swap one Brisbane premiership for a New South Wales Rugby League premiership?
Probably not.
You reckon?
Not at that time.
It's interesting to think about.
When he played, nah. Some of those teams back then were just ridiculous, the players that were in there. So, I could be wrong, but I think he'd be very happy with the titles he won, because it's not like he was playing against also rans. A lot of those Brisbane teams would have beaten most of the Sydney teams.
Yeah, I
think both the comps in the 80s were very, very similar in strength.
Yeah. Listen, the Queensland Cup of that era was definitely the strongest reserve grade competition. And
there were times in decades past where the Brisbane comp was the stronger of the two, hence why Queensland was winning interstate games an awful lot in the 20s. I think they also had a bit of a run in the post-World War II as well. So it's not like it was constantly just this little brother that was dog shit the whole time. It had its ebbs and flows, just like the Sydney comp did.
Yeah.
So I'm not inclined to just have it being 100% regarded as being the minnow. I think just the way circumstances went, when the Broncos and people forget, when the Broncos and Gold Coast came across to the New South Wales Rugby League in 88, that dragged all the best players out of the Brisbane comp into those two teams. Because you've got to remember, not many players left the other Sydney clubs to go and play with those two teams. They dragged all those players out of the Queensland comp and basically sunk that thing. So it shows you how much talent was there at the time and how much damage having those two teams come up, how much that sunk the Brisbane competition at the time.
But to be fair, long term, that needed to happen.
I'm not arguing against that at all.
Yeah.
They needed to find a way to unify the two comps somehow.
I'm sure that there's a way, and it's not something you can do right now, but I'm sure there's probably a way on the database that you could show like players that have ticked off.
So I've got an idea, and that is to look at the early winners of the Golden Boot Award.
Right.
Because that was actually based on merit, and they were hard to argue with.
Right.
So 1984 was Wally Lewis.
Right.
85 was Brett Kenny.
Right.
86 Gary Jack. 87 Peter Sterling.
Right.
Peter Sterling was tied with Hugh McGahn in 87, Kiwi forward.
Yeah.
He had a stellar year that year.
Mm-hmm.
88, Ellery Hanley.
Okay, yeah.
89, Mal Meninga.
Mm-hmm.
1990, Gary Schofield.
Okay, I'm out.
Well, it's worth noting that at 1990, they suspended it for 9 years.
Sometimes the rugby league gods give you a gift, and they gave me a good laugh. That's fucking great.
But yeah, one name we hadn't mentioned on there, which should be discussed, is Ellery Hanley.
Yeah, Ellery Hanley come really close to winning a New South Wales premiership too.
Yeah, got cheated out of it. But fuck me, he was great.
He was a very good player.
Who was in there when they came back? Andrew Johns, Brad Fittler, Stacey Jones, Darren Lockyer, Andy Farrell, Minicello, Cameron Smith, Billy Slater, Greg Inglis, Benji Marshall,
What year did they give it to Benji?
2010.
Okay.
Yeah. After Inglis, after Benji was Jonathan Thurston, then Kevin Sinfield,
Yeah, that was funny.
Jonathan Thurston again, Sean Johnson, Thurston again, third time, Cooper Cronk, Cameron Smith, Thomas Mackinson, 2018. Remember that one?
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
2019 was RTS. And then it was suspended because of COVID.
Yeah, because no one played. Oh, hang on, somebody did. But remember they had, I think they gave it to Mackinson, and they said it was all about, that was about his club form. And then after that, they changed it to, it was only international form, right?
Yeah.
And then during COVID, they said, well, no internationals were played, so we're not giving it. But there were, and we gave our international award to a German player. Because who was it between? It was Germany and the Netherlands, was it?
That's
played?
correct.
There was
That's correct.
International.
Yeah.
And me and Andrew watched that game and awarded the award, as you do. Yeah.
I still remember that game still lives in my brain. That was one of the most enjoyable games of football I watched. Not because the quality was phenomenal, but because of how grassrootsy shit felt. You just watch it look like someone was just live streaming it from their mobile phone.
We gave it to a dude in the losing side too.
Yeah.
He was a big German dude.
He was insanely good.
Yeah, he was really good. Deserved it. Yeah. Deserved it. Yeah, you know what? One of the games you and me watched, and I think maybe it was like Ireland versus Spain. Remember we watched?
Yes.
Okay, so I saw a thing
the world's longest first half.
Yeah, they got the timing wrong.
Just keep going, guys. I'll wait for the siren.
It's so long. You and me sitting there going like, I remember when we started going like, man, this first half has gone for a long time, hey? And it went for like another 15 minutes.
Yeah, it went for almost an hour. I just thought, they'll just make the second half shorter. Nope, the second half is 40 minutes.
I saw a fucking article during the week where it said that there was a Major League Soccer game in the US that was going to be the first game broadcast from an iPhone 17. And I was thinking, man, we watched one that was fucking on a Samsung S5. I swear to God. And it was the Rugby League International.
That was great.
That was good. That was good fun. I think that might be one of our live episodes that might still be on YouTube, hey?
I believe it is, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, good stuff. Well, that promoted a lot of discussion. Now we've got another one, hey?
Yeah.
We've got another email.
Well, should I mention the actual serviceman who did insane work?
Yeah.
Now that I brought him up. His name was Spencer Walkley, and he played for St. George for about 15 games in 1943, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
We actually, on Rugby League Project, had the author of a book called The Guns of Mushu. And I'll tell you what, if you're even mildly interested in war books, get that one because it is written by a bloke who served in war. It's about his father who survived this incident I'll go into briefly. But it moves so fast in your head. Everything's so vivid. It feels like you're watching a movie. It's a brilliant book. I cannot recommend it enough. But Spencer Walkley was in a Z Special Unit and went missing in April 1945 during a raid on Mushu Island off the coast of New Guinea. And the idea is they were going to go there to try and find these big anti-aircraft guns that the Japanese had hidden in the scrubland out there. And what these guys had to do was go in at night very quietly. There's a small group, I think about 5 or 6 guys. And they went on and they had to go in, get the coordinates, not be caught, and then get the fuck out of there before the sun come up.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up, because they were floating in on little paddleboard things. So they didn't make a noise. They couldn't have a ship go in there. But they went to the wrong part of the island.
Oh, jeez.
And the Japanese were picking them off. And they weren't just picking them off. They knew that they were special, forces guys.
Mm-hmm.
So they were torturing the living hell out of them.
Oh, wow.
And these guys got horribly mutilated and murdered and cut into pieces and stuff. And for most of them, they were never found.
Mm.
And when they were found, it was decades later.
Mm-hmm.
Only one guy survived, and that was the father of the bloke who wrote the book.
Mm-hmm.
and he almost didn't as well. And the book covers basically an operation that lasted about 3 days. It's insane. It's a great read. But Spencer Walklake was one of the guys who passed away on there, and I think they found remains of him, like in the early 2000s or something like that.
Mm.
Yeah, he was a big second rower, I believe.
Yeah, far
out. Unbelievable story. Great read. But yeah, there'd be that guy, and he was 27 years old when he passed away.
Far out. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. On to our next email. Our next email is from Sam, long-time listener. The subject is Manly's form. Mm-hmm. He says, "Hey, gents, it's fucking Sammy Boy here." I added that because I think that everyone needs to announce themselves from now on.
That's right.
Hey, gents, long time no speak. Thanks for the shout out a month back in regards to my fracture. I've stopped touching windows now.
Oh, right. Okay.
My question...
no, I'm not saying that because I don't know what he's talking. I assume that's a reference to what happened to Bruce Stadium, whatever it was.
Where, what's his name? Fucked up his hand.
Yeah. And then cried because he didn't get an apology.
Yeah. My question is about Manly's form. I'm not sold just yet. Do you think they are a real threat to beat a deplorable Dolphins? Why are the Dolphins deplorable?
Yeah, I don't get why is he saying the Dolphins? Do they even play him again this year? Oh yeah, round 24. Mate, you got like 10 games to worry about beforehand.
Dolphins are actually really good. I think they're pretty good. I think they're going to go all right this season. The Dragons, the Cowboys, and Eels. They should beat the Dragons. The Cowboys is 50-50. Eels.
The Cowboys are a tricky one because their attack is really good. Their defense is really shit. And so they're playing a style at the moment where they will just try and outscore you on the scoreboard. And at the moment, it's kind of working for them. But when they lose, it's hard to watch when they lose. Yeah,
it's not a good game. Beat a depleted Broncos and Tigers sides.
As much as I'm obviously a Tigers fan, I'm very happy about they've up until the last few weeks anyway, how well they've been performing this year. What we're seeing with the Tigers at the moment is they've got very little depth. And so a few injuries come along and their stocks are just depleted horribly. So it depends on what sort of Tiger side you come up against. If the Tigers you come up against are fully fit, it's going to be tricky. But if they've got one or two key players out, you should get up.
And I think the Broncos are showing us how hard it is to go for back-to-back titles. So I think that the Broncos season is kind of par for the course for most premiers over the last 40 years, to be honest.
Yeah.
He says, scraped by the Titans in an origin affected game.
Yeah, look, I think everyone's getting caught up in the size of the wins that Manly's been having.
Yeah.
And no one's really talking about how good their defense has been because they have yet to concede more than 18 points in a game. And as everyone may have known, I've said it before, 19 points is the magic score. If you get to 19, you're more than 50% chance of winning your game from that point on. And they're keeping their opposition to 18 or less. And they've done that every single time since foreigners come in. That's the bit that's impressive. The attack is going to come because the way the game is now, if your defense is strong and stays consistently strong, you will wear the other team out and you'll just put points on whatever the hell you want. And we saw Penrith doing that at the start of the year. They're still doing it now to some extent. And you're seeing it now with teams, even the ones who have been struggling like Melbourne were for several weeks. As soon as they came up against a side that wasn't so strong, they were just defensively good for a little bit, and then they just blew the Tigers off the park. And then they did it the week after against Parramatta. And momentum is such a big thing right now, more than form. You go into a game and you start off on the front foot and you take the game to the opposition, there's a good chance you'll get on the board early. And if you defend well from that point on, you'll win the game. So it's hard to pick form at the moment. But Manly's playing really good football. A lot of lines being run from the middle just to the edges on the outside, and so it means that they're dragging the middle defence outwards, which is creating gaps in the middle. And so defenders are either sliding in and jamming in hard in the middle, which is leaving gaps out wide, or they're drifting out wide and leaving gaps in the middle. And they've been doing this a lot. And the only team that looks like they found a way to restrict the Manly scoring was actually the Titans last week. And those part conditions, but also the Titans have been this really tricky thing defensively all year where teams are not flogging them by what they think they should be.
Mm.
The Titans have been, they've only won 2 games, but they're not getting flogged. Like they got belted in round 1 to the Sharks, but after that they lost by 14. They beat the Dragons. They lost by 14 to Brisbane. They got, they put a cricket score on Parramatta. They lost by 8 to the Warriors, lost by 16 to Canberra, 16 to the Roosters. 24 to Newcastle was their worst one, and 2 to Manly. For a team that was expected to come last, they've been competitive for, close to an hour in every game. That's not a team who's playing shit. That's a team who's doing a pretty good effort, given what they've got.
Yeah, Josh Hannay's done a really good job getting them to buy in to the effort that has been needed to get those sorts of results, and knowing that they're probably not going to win that many games this year, but still buying in. It's part of the job. It's part of whether you can get your players to buy in or not. And you look at Seabold, he didn't get any buy-in from his players.
Yeah.
And I sometimes put that down to, could these professional players know that they're dealing with someone that's full of shit? I think that sometimes that comes across because they're professional footy players, and I know that not all of them are, tuned into that sort of thing. They just sort of go out and play. But the ones that are, I think that they can smell it out when they get a coach in that's just full of shit, and that's why I think you see such a change in these teams sometimes when they get somebody else in and all of a sudden. But this is one of the biggest ones I've seen with Manly. It's been incredible. Sam goes on to say, admittedly, they lost to Penrith in a close one. I don't know. What do you reckon? Thank you, guys. Always listening and supporting. You guys are the best. Thank you. Go Cowboys.
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, thank you, Sam.
I will say on the Titans,
yes,
they are currently ranked 8th in defence.
Yes.
So all they are above all of the 9 teams outside the top 8, and they're also above Newcastle, who are in the top 8 defensively.
Yeah. The Titans need to sort out their outside backs because they still get too many errors out of their outside backs, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Their forward pack it looks pretty good on paper, but I think the balance of it is maybe just a little bit off. They need a couple more toilers in that team.
Yeah.
And they'll get there. I mean, this is the first, they got rid of a bunch of players at the end of last year. They've got a worse lineup this year on paper than they had last year, and yet they're doing so much better. They're going in a right direction now, which is a good thing.
100%. Oh, thanks for that, Sam.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. And Sam's always tweeting me and stuff. So it's cool to get emails from people that are always listening and keyed into all the stuff that we're doing and stuff. It's brilliant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shall we have a look down a little stroll down memory lane?
Yeah, let's do it. Not
going to go back too far in ball, people. We'll go back to 2001, back when I was in my 60s. So,
back in your twilight years.
Back in my twilight years. Going to look at the few weeks around what happened after September 11 and what, because the reason why I'm talking about this is because this is when there was a kangaroo tour that was supposed to take place around.
Yeah, and it was going to be not a full kangaroo tour, but it was going to be like probably the size of what a kangaroo tour should be. It's going to be decent enough.
It was initially planned to be 7 weeks, which was the shortest one they had planned because most of them before had been 3 months. So this was going to be 7 weeks.
Now, I've got a couple of things to say about this. Right.
All right.
So keep in mind, we come out of the Super League war. International Rugby League had basically been put aside for a little bit while we had the Super League War. Come back together, play a few tests. We played a couple of tests, I think, in '98. In '99, I think we played a really good series against the Kiwis. Australia did. Very good series. Kiwis were very good. That was really the first time they put a shot across our bow.
Yeah.
In terms of it's not just. It wasn't just they're in good form. They had a good. It was like, nah, I think the Kiwis have arrived finally. And then 2000 World Cup happens, and it's a disaster for the game in terms of there wasn't another World Cup for 8 years. The game in England lost millions and millions of pounds. The game in England was on its ass because the World Cup was so bad. So what do they need? They need Australia to come over and do a kangaroo tour in 2001. That's the setting we have at this point. We're all set to do this kangaroo tour, and then September 11 happens, and obviously the world changes very much in one event. And keep in mind, international travel was stopped for quite a while. People were really worried about a lot of things that were happening. Did they really want to get back on a plane? These are things we've lived with now for a couple of decades, but this is fresh, out of nowhere, and it was a real concern, and that's where we're at as Andrew starts talking about this.
Yeah, I mean, I look a lot of the time too. A lot of people are going, no one knew that these terrorists were going to do this. How do we not know that they're going to be on other planes?
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time that this was going on, and I'm talking about the weeks before September 11 and what happened afterwards, Ansett was going under in Australia.
Yep.
And they were a big sponsor of the ARL, NRL, both of them. And yes, there was two of them. We had the ARL who ran the game in Australia, and we had the NRL who just looked after the NRL comp. Kind of similar to now, but a bit different.
Yeah. The other thing is too, on September 12th in 2001, if somebody had offered you a free trip anywhere in the world on a plane, you wouldn't have taken it. No one was taking that.
No, it wasn't going on. So on September 19, this is 8 days after, the ARL CEO, Jeff Carr, says that the Kangaroo Tour is in jeopardy and a decision as to whether it will take place will depend on international developments. 3 days later, Shane Webke calls on the ARL to consider rescheduling the tour. On October 1, the ARL select their 24-man squad for the Kangaroo Tour, but they haven't come to a 100% decision on whether it's going to go ahead as planned or if it's going to be changed or whether they're going to cancel it or if what they're going to do. They just go, we're just going to name the squad and then we'll take the next step from there. And it's like baby steps the whole way through. They're just sort of buying time, but not too much because they've still got the dates already set up for the original tour.
Yeah. And keep in mind at this point, no one's really attacking them for any of this either. It was such a weird point in time and in life that, if they had have cancelled this tour from an Australian point of view, not one person in Australia would have gone, oh, that's a terrible idea. It would have been like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we'll get into that very shortly too, because October 8, doubts then get stronger about the tour actually going ahead because the US started its military strikes on Afghanistan. 2 days after that, the Telegraph runs a story about Brad Fittler's fiancée demanding him not to go on the tour. That night, 12 of the 24 players that were named declared they would not be willing to go on the tour, so therefore the ARL decided that they will cancel it. ARL Chairman Colin Lowe says the tour will be postponed for 12 months. English media and RFL officials are pissed.
Yeah. Keeping in mind, they need this tour. They literally need this tour to happen.
The very next day, the RFL officials claimed that the cancellation of the tour will cost them $9 million.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Fulton says the tour should go ahead and that a new squad of willing participants should be selected. 2 days later, the RFL proposes that an Anzac touring squad be selected to replace the Kangaroos. So the 12 Aussie players wanted to go, and then you get 12 Kiwis who wanted to go. And so at the moment, we're now everyone's trying to figure out what the hell we do because the Poms need it to go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
and they've got only half the Australian players want to go. On October 16, Brad Fittler reluctantly agrees to captain the Kangaroos on a 3-match tour, containing just the 3 tests against England. The next day, the Sydney Morning Herald reports that the Australian players will be protected by British government officials during the rescheduled tour. Webke refuses to change his stance, though, saying, and this is a quote from him, "If it makes me a coward not wanting to take part in this tour for the sake of my own safety and to spare my loved ones a great deal of anguish, then by all means, call me a coward." He was the only one who was picked, both times, who refused to go. On October 30th, so we're now 2 weeks after, the Daily Telegraph reports that Brad Fittler received 4 feathers in the mail after the original decision to cancel the Kangaroo Tour. 8 days before this, Fittler claimed that the NRL had hung him out to dry. He insisted that the NRL guarantees that they will never use him like that ever again. I don't remember the feathers thing, but there you go.
Yeah, I can't remember that either.
On October 31, the New South Wales Police Commissioner Peter Ryan addresses the Kangaroo squad on safety issues.
Keep in mind, Peter Ryan was an English person that was the head of the New South Wales Police, and I think he might have worked for Scotland Yard or something before he was the New South Wales Police Commissioner.
I believe so, yeah.
Something like that.
On November 5, the Kangaroos depart on their tour. In between all of this, from October 17 to November 5, the Kangaroos went on a very short trip over to Papua New Guinea and played a test over there. And in that trip, I think Craig Gower got an injury, a nasty one, because I think it ruled him out for 6 months. And also in that time, Nathan Highmarsh, I think, fell off his motorbike and broke his hand. So those 2 players were initially named to go on the tour, ended up being scratched, along with Webke. So on November 5, they finally agreed to have the tour, and they've gone over to England. A week later, Great Britain wins the first test. Jason Stevens was put on report for stomping. 2 days later, Stevens was suspended for 1 match and fined £500. November 17, Australia wins the second test, 40-12. On November 20th, so this is 3 days after the second test, Kangaroos coach Chris Anderson is rushed to hospital after experiencing chest pains during a gym session. He's released the very next day, cleared of heart problems. Also on the next day, Brad Fittler reveals that the full Kangaroo Tour probably should have gone ahead as initially planned anyway. So he's done a complete 180. 3 days after that, Australia retains the Ashes, winning the third test 28-8. At half-time in the game, Chris Anderson is rushed to the hospital after having suffered a heart attack. 4 days later, the Kangaroos have returned back in Australia, and 3 days after that, Chris Anderson was released from hospital in England. Now, during November, while all that was going on, David Moffat stood down as the NRL boss. And there were close to 40 people who applied to be the new NRL chief. And one of those people was Peter V'landys. And I was telling Freaky to start here, I found that absolutely fascinating because I was just looking through all of this, unaware about Andrew Abdo stepping down today. And when I saw all of this, and I went and checked the news stuff, and I went, holy shit, Peter V'landys was trying to get this job in 2001, and now he's got it 25 years later.
That's how you know we're in a simulation.
I know, right? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's a little walk down memory lane. The other thing that was interesting too back then is, I think it was it Brett Camorley said that he didn't deserve to get picked in the tour because he said his form wasn't good enough.
I don't remember that. I remember, think it was Robbie Kearns saying that he didn't want to fly over for the series in England because the terrorists could target the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Yeah, and people were like, man, someone give him a map.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know where that come from. But yeah, that was an interesting tour. Should we go through the names of the players who went on that tour for Australia?
Yeah, go for it.
Braithen Astor, Trent Barrett, Nathan Blacklock, Danny Medeiros, Dane Carlaw, Petro Civoniceva, Fittler, Matt Gidley, Andrew Johns, Robbie Kearns, Ben Kennedy, Darren Lockyer, Jamie Lyon, Adam McDougall, Brad Myers, Jason Riles, Jason Stevens, Lottie Takuri, and Michael Vella.
That was the closest that England come, or Great Britain, whichever way you want to put it, have come to winning the Ashes since 1994. So that's like the 2-1. Ever since then, it's been blowouts.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, in those 3 tests, Andrew Johns scored 34 points. And for the whole series, Great Britain scored 40.
Yeah. Well, they're catching up.
So yeah, I thought that was a quick little history tidbit going down memory lane there.
Yeah, I always find it funny when we talk about those eras because I was interacting a lot with English fans at that time.
I mean, that would have been all positive.
Yeah, that was while they were saying things like, "Oh, Kieran Cunningham's best player in the world is way better than Andrew Johns," and I was like, I used to try and educate people back then. And
I mean, you're giving to the community.
Very, very giving, and I've stopped doing that.
Were you ushered out of some of those websites from being giving?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
The Total Rugby League forum, I think I've talked about this before, where they tried to get rid of me by making it that you had to buy a subscription to be on their forum. And so someone bought a subscription and gave me the thing and said, I just like seeing what you do. And so then I'm on there and then they're like, fuck, okay. So then they had this thing where you can't really ban somebody that's paid for a subscription. So what do? Where you make a completely different area of the forum that they get sent to, when instead of banning them, you put them in, and they called it the Gulag. Well, they sent me to the Gulag pretty quick, and the fucking Gulag become awesome. It was my own personal forum, people coming in, talking to me and shit. So that didn't quite work. And eventually they did ban me. And there was somebody that used to run that forum, and I don't remember their names. You know what I'm like. I don't fucking know any of these fucking idiots on forums that think that I should know them or hate them or whatever. But I was told by somebody else, they said that they would receive more complaints about me in a day than they ever received about anybody in the whole history of that forum. So that's why I'm the glorious League Freak.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's really weird though. And you've fucking seen it where you've seen it where people be like, "Oh, there's a bit of a problem there," and I hear about it. I'm like, I've got no idea who this fucking person is. I always find that so fucking funny when that happens.
Oh, that is great. That is great. What else should we get into?
Well, there was the absolutely terrible news that came out the other day that Jai Arrow has been diagnosed with motor neurone disease. Apparently, earlier in the year, he told South trainers or something that he was having, he'd lost power in one of his arms, in one of his shoulders, and they couldn't work out what it was. And then he went through and did all of the tests, and he has, it turned out he had the starts of motor neurone disease. He's retired immediately. He's going to apparently go to the US for what treatment he can get. It's the sort of thing that you can't get too much treatment for, unfortunately. It's a degenerative disease.
The treatment designed just to slow the effects of it down.
I think that's all they try and do with it, yeah. It's one of those terrible diseases there where it's like there's not a huge amount you can do, unfortunately, and that was really sad to hear about. I mean, he's a young dude, you know, in the prime of his life. I think he'd had his first kid like 6 months earlier.
Yeah,
and just
I wouldn't have got any easier today either, because over in AFL land they had, you know, one of their legends, Neil Danaher, passed away from the same disease.
Mm-hmm.
So for anyone who doesn't know, Neil Danaher, I think, was the driving force behind their big freeze thing they do. I don't know if you've seen it or not, where they have a big round every year, and they have this thing where they have this big slippery dip thing that goes into an ice bath. And they usually try and get former greats or celebrities to go and do it, and they just slide down and get in the ice bath, and there's beanies and stuff everywhere. Raises a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
And it's all for motor neurone disease. So yeah, he passed away. He was actually a Wagga boy as well.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't have been easy having this news come out and then hearing, another sporting great had just passed away from it. That's not going to be good. So obviously, I mean, we wish him well. He's turns 31 in 2 months.
Yeah,
that just feels cruel.
Yeah, and it's the same thing that Rob Barrow passed away with.
Yeah,
and it really is. It's such a cruel thing to get, and it's just very, very sad. And Souths have said that they're going to back him. They want him to stick around with the club. I know Queensland had him up during the week into their camp. And yeah, just very, very sad news for him. When they had the press conference, and I couldn't bring myself to watch the press conference, to be honest. But the bits that I did see, they read a statement out on his behalf because he couldn't get the words out in terms of it was just so devastating for him. And yeah, we could just wish him all the best,
Absolutely, 100%. On that note, shall we look at what's coming on this weekend?
Yeah. Let's go through the upcoming games. We've both tipped New South Wales for Origin, so let's look at the NRL games ahead, knowing that we don't yet know who's in and out from the Origin games, if anybody is in or out.
That's right. Yeah, this could be a mess.
Yeah.
Much like my tipping.
Yeah, your tipping is so bad.
Yeah, every time we miss a podcast week, I don't do my tips. That's how bad I am at footy tipping. I need the constant reminder of a 2-hour podcast to go, oh shit, I've got to do my tips. And even then, it's because we make a small segment in the show where we talk about this week's games, and I go, oh, I better do it now.
I switched a tip late last week from the Dolphins to the Raiders because I knew the Dolphins were missing players, but then they lost another couple leading into the game, and I was like, oh, I'll have to go for the Raiders, and the Raiders still lost. So it's like, man, it just killed my tips for the whole weekend.
That'll teach you.
Yeah, it will.
Fancy picking Canberra.
I know, just an idiot.
All right, so first up, we've got the Sharks versus Manly.
This is a tough one,
It is.
I mean, Manly have been going so well, and the Sharks, when you apply any pressure to the Sharks this year, they crack really easily. And that worries me a bit. I've still tipped the Sharks, but it's not confidently.
Yeah, I'm going with the Sharks as well. I just think that there should be more talent with more room to move upwards than what Manly has. I would say Manly right now are performing as close to the best they possibly can, whereas I think the Sharks still have room for improvement. And I think that's, in my mind, it tells me the Sharks should win this. Mm-hmm. But, man, they're inconsistent at the moment. They're a hard watch at the moment.
They're playing like they normally do in finals games where once the heat is on, they'll break 100% of the time.
Yeah. Next is the Knights versus Parramatta.
Well, I mean, you have to tip the Knights in this one. They're having an all right season, and the Eels just look like trash.
Yeah, I think I'll probably just go with the Knights I'll put a modest margin in there. What did you go with?
I think I went for Knights by 8.
Okay, I've gone with a modest 60.
Yeah, I tend to be a little bit more conservative on that than you do.
Yeah, I'm just going for that one outlier.
What's the most you can put in, by the way? Can you put in 100?
99.
99? Far out.
Which I did the other week. It didn't work out either. I was pissed off.
That's crazy.
The Tigers versus the Bulldogs.
This sucks.
Yeah, because 4 weeks ago, this is a hands down win for the Tigers.
Yeah. Just not even a question. It's like, that's it, right?
Yeah. But the Tigers' defense has got so bad so fast. And at the same time, the Bulldogs' attack has got so bad so fast. You're going, the Tigers are going to let in a ton of points, but the Bulldogs don't know how to score them. So it's just going to be a stalemate of yuck.
Yeah, like looking at their win against the Bulldogs' win against the Storm last week, and it was like, well, the Storm didn't play very well,
Yeah.
But the Bulldogs did manage to pull it out, and it was on the back of a very good game by Matt Burton, I thought.
Oh, Burton and Cherry were both brilliant in that game. And
Cherry had the best game of his career by a long way.
And they just absolutely decimated that left side on the Bulldog side there in attack. They just ran holes through them.
I know I'm going to hate myself, but I tipped the Bulldogs in this one.
Yeah. Never forget 88. I'm picking the Tigers.
Somewhere out there, Terry Lamb's arm is still sore.
Would be. I'm sure he dislocated his elbow with the force.
Yeah, poor guy. I had to see somebody get hurt like that.
Next is Melbourne versus the Roosters.
You have to go to the Roosters. I think the Roosters get very lucky, with their opponents and who they play. It feels like they're always coming in against a team who's just down on their luck, injured, fucking out of form, whatever. You have to go for the Roosters in this one, I think.
Yeah, I'm going with the Roosters. I think I'd need to see like 3 or 4 weeks of good performance by the Storm before I can start backing them again.
Yeah.
Because the thing that's got me about them is their defense is not working. And that's usually the one thing that's the rock solid for them. And when that's not working, you just go, man, I don't know what this is anymore.
Especially their outside backs. Their outside backs are a friggin' disgrace this year.
Meaney got absolutely schooled last week. It was just, man, he was bad.
Yeah, and like even someone like Warbrick, who is normally like pretty solid, he's been a fucking terrible player this year.
Yeah, his hands have been bad too.
Yeah, terrible.
Speaking of terrible, the Dragons play the Broncos.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to go to the Broncos, even without a bunch of players from Origin. If they all miss this game, the Dragons are starting. Last week's loss by the Dragons got me thinking, like, where do they rank in terms of the worst teams I've seen? They're not quite there with the west side of 99, but I think they're in that next tier, just above them for sure. And you wonder where their next win's going to come from. They haven't won for more than a year now, which is crazy.
So coming up, they've got Broncos obviously this week, Cronulla next week, then the bye, then they've got the Knights, Canberra, and the Tigers, then another bye. Warriors, Titans, Dolphins, Sharks, Tigers, Bulldogs, Manly, Parramatta. So I'd probably round 27.
Yeah, Parramatta and the Titans are the best bets. Yeah. I was thinking about remember I said to you, like, didn't the Dragons win a game earlier this year, a couple of weeks ago? And it was that game against the Titans they played, and I didn't get to see that game. But I thought, look, the Dragons are playing terribly, but they should beat the Titans. And then when the Titans won that game, I was like, holy shit. And it's kind of just like, it was just such a weird result to me, you know?
Yeah.
They're really the only two teams I could see them, like, even having to go against.
Yeah. They are horrible right now.
Yeah.
So their last win was actually against the Sharks, and it was round 23 last year on August 9.
Oh, it was August 9.
Yeah.
I saw a thing that was like, It was 270 something days.
Yeah. But they've had they've had 4 wins in the last 12 months.
Sounds worse than it is. Shane Flanagan's never had a losing.
That's right.
He's never lost 4 games in a row. What are you talking about?
Even
His
better.
stats are obviously wrong.
They've had 4 wins and 3 byes.
Oh, that sucks.
And if they don't win in the next 2 weeks, it'll be 4-4.
That's crazy.
Wow, that's Should we start calling them university yet, or should we leave
University?
University holds a record for most consecutive losses, like 43 games or something.
Man. So what happens?
Next, we've got the Raiders versus the Cowboys.
I think I tipped the Cowboys in this one. And once again, it was not with a huge amount of confidence.
Not a convincing one.
The Raiders have, I think, the fourth worst for and against in the whole competition. And Ricky Stewart had another conniption after their last loss, because it's obviously not him or his team that loses these games. It was the referee and the rules of the game.
Ah, right. See, what game should we be playing?
I don't know. Whatever game Ricky Stewart I don't know what Ricky Stewart wants anymore. It's just confusing.
Do you think he's sort of going back a bit too far in time to when he used to play rugby union? He's wondering why there's no like ruck and mauls going on. Where's the lineouts? I want the lineouts back.
It's possible. Ricky Stewart's winning percentage over his entire career is like 51%. It's barely a pass mark. It's like a C-.
Is it?
You know?
Is it that high?
It is, because I looked on the weekend. When I get these people in my fucking radar, I fucking keep them in my radar.
I thought it was like 50.5 or something like that.
What is it? It's like 51.3 or 8 or some shit like that.
51.18.
There you go.
Wow, that's higher than I thought it would be.
Guy, he just needs more time. I don't know why he keep rushing this whole thing at Canberra. Like, he's been there for 11, 12 years, something like that. If you just give him a chance, Andrew, he'll sort it out.
Am I being too hasty?
You really are.
Yeah. I'm an asshole like that.
Seriously.
And the last game, first versus second, Penrith versus Warriors.
Yeah, the game of the round. It's going to be, hopefully, both of these teams, and I know that the Warriors have Tanner Boyd out for the year, and RTS is out for the year too with an ACL injury, it looks like. But hopefully, for what they've got left, they're both at full strength, because this could be a really good game. The Warriors are playing great footy. We know what the Panthers are doing. The Panthers coming off a bye, which will be interesting to see how they go coming off that bye. And the cool thing is it's a few days away from Origin too, with it being on a Sunday night. So I don't think you can really blame Origin on who wins or loses this game. It should be good.
Yeah, I've got a bad feeling that the Panthers are going to run away with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I say bad feeling because I really do want to see these two sides playing each other this year at full strength and in form, because I think the way the Warriors are defending at the moment it's the only type of defense that could like make the Panthers attack panic a little bit.
Yeah, I think that like the Warriors are definitely the second best team in the competition, and I think it's very clear actually. If the Panthers do stomp them, I think it's going to be a really worrying sign for everyone.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, the Warriors are in really good form. That like they've got so much that's positive for them right now, and to go in against the Panthers, it's at Parramatta Stadium. If the Panthers come out and kind of put one on them, it'd be a bad sign. But having said that, if the Warriors come out and put one on the Panthers, then it's game on.
Oh, 100%. That would be sweet. Now, let's have a look at the...
it wouldn't be sweet. It would be horrible, Andrew. What are you talking about?
You need to realise what it's like to lose heavily before the Tigers put a bloody cricket score on you.
In some fucking country town somewhere. That's how it always works.
Now, how are we going with the tipping? Should we check out the leaderboard?
No, I don't want to.
I'm going to have a look.
I just don't want to. I don't think it's relevant this year.
Oh, look, there's 229 people. My rank has gone down to 178. So what people don't realise is the metric that we're going to use to determine who wins is who has the highest total margin.
Yeah.
And on that front, you're welcome. My total margin so far is 364, and the next best is 143.
Jesus.
No, that's not right. Where is it? No, it's 100 and... Why is it sorted this all wrong? Right, okay. I've got to go. It's sorted it by the right order. That's not the right order.
It's kind of weird sometimes, the NRL tipping stuff. It can be kind of strange, I find.
Yeah. So my total margin is 364. The next worst is number one baby at 285, who's Ben, and then Simon, known as Coco 675. He's next with Sam, both on 280.
So my total margin is 194. So I'm way out of this competition at the moment.
Come on, man. Just put a few 99s down. You'll catch up.
My rank is 161.
161, man?
Yeah. Normally I'm in and about the top 10. I'm having a real bad go of it this year. And as I said, I've put too much faith in the West Tigers for too many weeks.
So not even I did that. I'm only 17 places behind you.
Yeah, it sucks.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm trying my best, We should go through the top. Let's do the top 10. So right. The number one, he's got 68 correct. That's Skelarachi. Number two is Tat North, by the look of it. He's 3 behind on 65. Joining him on 65 is Hull White Star. Isn't that a fucking fairy? Then we've got Liz 2604. She's on 63 alongside Jared 11, and Eric McConnell Broncos, who's on 63 as well. Bulldog Billy has got 62. Abdallah has 62, and Bertz also has 62. And then rounding out the top 10, also with 62, is Dackle.
I like some of these names.
Yeah, some of them are pretty cool.
I've got to ask a question.
Yeah.
Where's Nadine? Oh, there she is, 26.
Oh,
60.
Barely even trying.
I was wondering why she'd been so quiet on the whole, talking about the tipping front.
There's a team called G-String. They're on 61.
Yeah, I just saw there's the whole Sharks are on 60.
Whole Sharks.
Bellamy's ball sacks are at 60.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Oh, good names here. Mangy Seabirds, 59.
Mangy Seabirds.
Oh, man. I suck at maths is on 58. You don't suck at tipping, though, buddy.
Exactly.
Well, that's been fascinating. I could look at that for far too long, a bit like when we look at stats.
Yeah, we go quiet, we start looking at stats and shit.
Yeah, it's great podcasting content.
Talk about it for 3 hours after the podcast is done. It's good stuff.
Good thing I don't have to work tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, perfectly timed. Let's have a quick look at what's going on in Super League.
Okay.
Just for the lols. I mean, information for the people listening.
Andrew Abdo doesn't care anymore.
Tennis. He's all about the tennis. Last week, where's the results for Hull KR beat Wigan 62-4.
Yeah, that was because Wigan had left all of their players out because of the Challenge Cup finals coming up, and of course, like the whole competition's a Mickey Mouse competition, so no one gives a fuck.
Yeah. Leeds beat Huddersfield 52-0.
That's just Huddersfield sucks.
Lee beat Hull FC 42-6.
Once again, suck hole team.
Castleford beat St Helens 30-10.
It's Volandi's ball.
That was at One Bore Stadium.
One Bore Stadium. No, I can't say things like that.
Self-censoring now.
Yes.
It was bore as in B-O-R-E, not ball.
I know, Andrew. I was going to make a joke about things being boring. What did you think I was going to say?
Something about Hitler.
No, I wasn't going to say something about Hitler.
Wakefield Trinity beat Toulouse 22-18. Catalan beat York 36-22. Workington beat Bradford 26-12. Now, York have also announced that they've signed Damien Cook for next year.
Didn't Damien Cook go to the Castleford Tigers?
I thought he went to York. Who's gone to York?
No, he went to the Castleford Tigers.
Oh, well, someone from York signed a player.
Because
there was a Sharks player. Who was it?
Who'd they sign?
Oh, I can't fucking remember now.
York signed a Sharks player.
Yeah, I'll do a quick search see if I can find who it was.
Okay.
Cameron McInnes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Cameron McInnes is going to York.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's actually something we'll probably look into shortly. Is having a look at who's off contract, because given that it's a year where there's a big TV rights deal coming up and everyone's sort of holding up on signing contracts, there's a lot of players off contract right now, and with 2 new teams coming in, there's a lot of chaos that could be about to happen on the player market. So we might have to have a look into who's off contract and what teams might be doing, and I suppose who could help out which teams by being signed.
Cameron McInnes goes to York, and the whole town immediately becomes just that little bit better looking.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything about his smile at all.
No.
Gorgeous man.
Yeah. Damien Cook went to Castleford, and I know that because I said I felt sorry for him. And people from Castleford were like, "Oh, have you never been down this street?" And it's like, no one's ever been down that street.
I'm surprised he didn't sign with Hull.
Why?
Oh, I mean, they've got... Look, beach is a strong word.
That's doing a lot of heavy lifting.
They have water that comes near land that he could run on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if running around the hub is a good idea.
I think that they're keeping their powder dry for when they sign fucking Nathan Cleary.
The whole council just sells itself.
I saw a news article out of the UK a couple of days ago where Warrington said that they had their eye on Luke Metcalf before he signed for the Dragons. And it's like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, that's like St. Mary saying, you know what, we were thinking about signing Luke Metcalf, but he signed somewhere else. And so we're like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything.
There's more fish in the ocean.
Yeah. Fucking, they're just so, they just don't live in reality.
That's very Marwan Kukash Shalford times talk, isn't it?
It is a bit, yeah.
Except he just followed through and just signed everyone.
Deal with
the repercussions later.
There are these fucking articles you see coming out of the UK, and it's from the usual suspects that, they lie to their readers to get, hits and people reading it, but they just put out lies. It's the same fucking handful of people. We don't need to name them. But it's like, Nathan Cleary, he's really keen. He wants to sign for Hull. He wants to sign for Warrington. And it's like, do you realise how much money he's going to demand just in the NRL?
Yeah, I mean, he would almost demand a Super League team's entire salary cap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just not going to happen.
I put his market value at $3 million and people freak the fuck out. And I'm just going to buy the market value of Jerome Luai, because Jerome Luai is going to take home in his pocket the equivalent of $2.2 million. And if I'm Nathan Cleary, I want to put more money than that in my pocket.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why the hell not?
Yeah. He's worth it.
He is. Which player in all of English history do you think would be the most highest paid player in the modern game today? If you could take anyone from the history of the game at their peak and put them in the NRL today, who would be the most highest paid player?
Somebody that comes through the English system.
Yeah. So it can't be Fulton or Ian Roberts.
Okay. In all of, I would guess Billy Boston would be up there.
Yep.
Ellery Hanley would be up there.
You've named the two that I would think would be the two highest.
Yeah, and after that, it's like after that, it starts to become. I think it's a bit of a step down.
Yeah, I think those two guys. I mean, there was a few also in the 70s. You had who was that guy? Who became a coach, played for Manly. Mal Riley.
Mal Riley, yeah.
Fuck, he was good.
But he would definitely be a step down from those two.
Yeah, I think Hanley and Boston would 100% be the two highest paid, and I think they would demand massive dollars too.
Yeah, definitely. Another one, Mike Stevenson. I think he would, if at his peak. I think that obviously it didn't work out great at the Panthers when he went to the Panthers, but I think that in different circumstances he'd be up there. Trying to think of who else. I mean, I guess you'd have to put Sam Burgess in there at some point because he did come through their system.
I mean, you don't have to.
Chariots, he'd be in there.
That's not a bad one either.
Jason Robinson might if he struck at the right time.
Yeah.
After the 95 World Cup, Jason Robinson, I think that he would probably get a whack. But I mean, as I said, they're all lower level than Boston and Hanley.
Oh, 100%, 100%. Those two are miles ahead.
Yeah, I think so too.
What about Ryan Hall?
Do you know he plays the piano?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You didn't give a fuck either, did you?
What does he play on the piano? Classic.
Three Blind Mice.
Oh wow.
It's pretty good though. Like he plays it really well.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah. Who would be in the last 20 years to come through the English system? It's probably like, say, Burgess would be the best of them. You know what? James Graham, but he was all right. Like, we're not talking about superstars here. I'm trying to think of anyone else that's really come over and it's been like,
who's come? Oh, I don't know if there'd be many that have come over. I think, especially in the last 20 years, you kind of just have to stick with who's played in the Super League in that time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be a bit tricky because I don't think there's anyone that's played in the Super League. That you
get like big money.
Yeah, and that they'd be at that level.
No, I can't. No one stands out to me.
Because I'm looking at the list of players who were like players who played 400 plus games. Okay, there's only 17 of them. We'll work up from 402. Joe Westerman, Sean O'Loughlin, Danny Maguire, Lee Gilmore, Danny Houghton, Keith Senior, Ryan Hall, Danny Tickle, Ben Westwood, Rob Burrow, Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook, Leon Price, Jamie Peacock, Paul Wellens, Andy Lynch, Kevin Sinfield, James Roby. Yeah.
No. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're good. All right. Well,
look, I still think it's weird that we see certain NRL teams going to the English market for forwards. And I watched a lot of those English forwards playing the NRL and like, I'm like, that's why I don't sign those players. There's lots of failure there.
I think, yeah, I know, I agree on that. I think the only chance now with the way that the game has changed this year, the only players you could really look at would be hookers and centres who are capable of playing in the back row. And it's more for their utility value more than for their specialist role.
Yeah, well, like
I'm not saying names in particular. I'm just saying if you've got players who are equally as good as being a centre as they are as a second rower, and they do tend to have their players do those sort of roles because they have a longer season, and so they need to make sure players cover as many positions as possible to cover injuries because, having more players means more money, which we can't afford. So it breeds versatility. Which
Can I ask you a
there's always
question?
place for that. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Are you over Kai Pearce-Pauls yet?
No.
Okay, you will be. Give it time.
I just think he's being used properly.
Just give it time. Just give it time. We're going to have a podcast where you're going to get on. I'm going to ask you that question, and you're going to be like, "Just fuck him off."
Look, given the English forward he replaced,
yeah,
I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good.
He was one that could play in the back row and the centres.
Kai Pearce-Paul can come around here and smash all my windows in. We're good.
Oh shit!
We're good. We're fine. It's cool.
Remember when Jamie Peacock was like a pretty like not the biggest build for a second rower, and then all of a sudden he was this really old giant front rower? That was weird. I found that weird.
It's an interesting transition.
Yeah, sometimes just things I just think about things and I'm like, yeah, that was an interesting transition.
Yeah. Did he ever go into boxing?
No, maybe he should have.
I think,
you know what? I bet he fucking did a boxing match or something for charity.
Well, I think we need to look it up. Jamie Peacock boxing. And if he did, I bet he won. Is there anything on here? Rio Ferdinand challenged by Jamie Peacock to charity boxing match in Leeds next spring. That was in 2017.
So he challenged a fucking old soccer player to a boxing match. First of all, Rio Ferdinand was like, who?
Did it ever happen?
It couldn't have.
In 2017, when Rio Ferdinand announced he was pursuing a professional boxing license, rugby league legend Jamie Peacock offered to step into the ring with him. The two never actually fought, as Ferdinand was ultimately denied a professional boxing license.
That doesn't shock me.
But hang on, Peacock wouldn't have one.
Yeah, but if it was between old Rio Ferdinand and old Jamie Peacock, I know who would get the boxing license more than the other.
Who's going to get it?
Jamie Peacock. He's a natural athlete.
I'm going to go and search the boxing archive website here.
Okay.
I don't think he's here.
Okay. I feel like, did Lee Gilmore have some boxing matches? I feel like maybe he did a charity match or something.
Jamie Peacock was not a boxer. He's not on here at any stage. Okay. No one enough. Rio Ferdinand did it.
I can't believe Rio Ferdinand thought he was going to do boxing. That's fucked up.
Nope,
that's when you don't have. That's when there's not enough people around you that say no.
That's right. Paul Gallen, though. Let's check out his career record. Oh, I can't check it out. Well, I got to log in.
Oh yeah, it's not like that. It'll probably be on his Wikipedia page.
It would be, but then I'd have to look that up.
Does Racing News? No, I can't say that.
You give me some suggestion about the Everest.
No, I thought maybe he was a horse trainer. That's all.
I thought you were going to put some money on the Everest. No.
Look up his record. I want to see what his record was. Because, did you see the other week where they had those at Magic Round, where they had those two fucking idiots pretend that they were going to fight on the sideline to promote their boxing match?
Oh, I think I vaguely saw something about that.
Yeah, it was so stupid.
What was that about?
Gallen and then Wikipedia. Paul Gallen.
Who were they? Who were those people that were trying to?
It was.
Was it a proper boxing or was it
It was
celebrity boxing?
a Sofa Solomona and George Burgess, I think it was, and they were promoting a boxing match that they're gonna have or something.
Right. So that's where Sofa Solomon has gone.
Yeah.
Gallen's pro record is 16 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw.
Okay, so he's fought Sonny Bill Williams. He fought Justin Hodges twice.
Did he fight anyone who wasn't actually playing rugby league?
He fought Ben Hannon. He fought a dude. He lost to a dude called Chris Viz. He beat Darcy.
So that was for the Australian heavyweight title.
So that was an actual boxer he fought.
Yeah, for an actual title.
That was another heavyweight one that he lost. Lucas Brown, I'm pretty sure he was a boxer, but I think he was really old when Paul Gallen fought him.
Justice Hooney was also a boxer.
I think I watched the one. I think I saw the one actually where he fought Mark Hunt, and Mark Hunt just did not give a fuck in that match. It was terrible.
The draw with Barry Hall was an absolute scam. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. John Hawati, that was bad.
Junior Paulo. I might have seen the Junior Paulo one as well. I don't even know how I would have seen it because I don't buy these fucking matches. Like, Bodine Thompson, Anthony Watts. Good times.
Oh, look, Anthony Watts should not do anything to do with boxing after Robbie Farah absolutely annihilated him in a scrum.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think so, eh?
Robbie Farah should be on there. 1 fight, 1 win. Doesn't matter what you think of Robbie Farah. You go and watch that video of him and Anthony Watts. And Anthony Watts started the fight in the scrum.
Mm.
And Farah just copped it and said, I'll square you up in the next one. And fuck me, he did. That's all you need to know. Don't worry about the rest of his career. He won a boxing match in the middle of a footy game. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I love that moment.
Yeah.
I was just looking at Sonny Bill Williams' record because Sonny Bill is 9 wins and 2 losses, right?
Okay, so the 9 wins were against South African 50-year-old greengrocer.
He won.
A 65-year-old taxi driver from New York.
Get this. He fought Francois Botha in 2013. Francois Botha must have been 50 or something. And he won the vacant WBA international heavyweight title, getting that. So he won his first number of bouts, but he's lost his last 2. And he lost one to Mark Hunt in 2022. And then he lost his last one to the natural athlete Paul Gallen last year.
The natural.
Yeah.
You should actually be on there. His name should be The Natural Body.
Paul the Natural Body Gallen.
So he's motivated by being, the natural, but also, Gabrielle Richards, the body.
Yeah, poor old Solomon Hamono. He believed in true love.
Yeah, good on him.
Yeah, I've got nothing against romance.
Yeah, probably.
It's a nice idea.
Cause it's a concept that exists.
Yeah, it's a nice theory.
Oh well. On that note, should we wrap this one up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. It's been good fun.
We'll put a bow on it. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and enduring the last half hour or so where we just gibbered on with shit. There was a Formula One race. I don't know if you saw it or not.
I did watch it. Actually, very, very good race.
Yeah.
Quick wrap up of it. McLaren were on the grid on fucking intermediates, and it wasn't raining, right? And
Ferrari strategy.
Yeah, I actually said that. I actually said they had a Ferrari race. So they're doing the first parade lap, going back to the thing, and Oscar Piastri's like, listen, everyone else is on slicks. It's a dry track and we're on intermediates. I think I should come straight in. And the pits literally say back to him, look, everyone else is on slicks, and but the tyre temperatures are really low at the moment. And you're on intermediates, so it'll be fine. And he's literally says, yeah, but I'm on intermediates that are also very cold as well. And if I come in to the pits, I'll get some slicks on, but they'll be warm from the tyre warmers, right? Yeah. They just fucking ignored him. So, of course, this race starts, and the two McLarens got off to he got off to a bit of a slow start, but Norris, he goes out, takes the lead really early. It's like just had a great start. But, of course, their tyres start dying pretty quickly, and they've got to come into the pits, and so they're back at the end of the field, and then Piastri ends up running into somebody, and it was just a terrible race for him, and then Norris retired. But the big thing about this race was that once the two Mercedes got out in front, Russell was ahead, but Kimi Antonelli was he just looked quicker, and Antonelli was attacking him, and they were coming really close and stuff, and there was a lot of amazing moments. And then Antonelli eventually got in front, and then Russell's car gave up on him, and he was filthy that his car gave up on him. But Antonelli is something else, man. He's so quick. He is so damn quick.
There's a bit of young Verstappen about him too. Like he's at times a little bit clumsy because he's just taking such ballsy risks that no one else can bother looking at.
Yeah, well, there was in the sprint race the day before, he felt like he'd been run off the track, and from his point of view, it definitely looked like that Russell had run him off the track. When you look at it from a higher point of view, it wasn't as full on as what it looked like from Antonelli's car.
Yeah.
But Antonelli was pissed, and he kept on going on about it for a number of laps. And he eventually calmed down by the end of the race. But yeah, there's Antonelli, you can see, because he's still a teenager and he's still doing silly things, but he's so quick when he does it. It's amazing. Yeah. He's so good. Hamilton was good in this race too. Hamilton was very good. Verstappen was more improved. Leclerc, his car, something must have happened with his car. So I don't know what was going on, because it just wasn't, it wasn't with it like Hamilton's was. But it was a really good race. I really enjoyed it. That's two good back-to-back races.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch the replay tomorrow.
I just ruined the whole thing for you.
I'm still gonna watch it.
Okay.
I can't watch some things after I've learnt the result, mostly West Tigers games.
Yeah.
I can watch any other footy game. Once I've got the result of a Tigers game, I'm like, I don't need to see that now.
I can't watch.
I can watch them over and over again. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I can't watch basketball games after I know the result. I can watch a Formula One race. I can definitely watch a footy game depending on who the team is. Like, I'm not going to go back and watch fucking St. George versus the Titans. But a lot of those games I will watch back if I've missed them. But yeah, I can't watch a basketball game back.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now that we've had one false start to finish this thing, let's properly do it this time.
Yeah, let's do it.
I promise I won't bring up anything else.
Excellent.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Make sure you check us out on all the socials, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. Like and subscribe on YouTube. That'd be awesome. And we'll see you